Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3 4. Spread Bowlin, I'm trying to keep it alive and well. How you doing? How you doing? How you been? What's been going on? What is the get down? We're trying to do our things here as best we can. Moving along, moving right along. This is our second time, our very second time going on to YouTube, our very own YouTubist, YouTubinist, YouTubations, tubidation, intubidate. We're not doing any of that. We're chilling here. It's Brandon Bowlin here for the under. This is this is the first time we're forced by an accident of of technology. We are forced to go into the YouTube world. Now I started NIGHTUS. Actually, what I did the very first time I did NIGHTUS, I did YouTube and I tried to embed it in Facebook, and the twain don't really work together because one, they're both trying to make money off the eyes, and they want all the eyes. And so unless you're doing certain things and got a certain shimmery dig, got it for them, they ain't messing with nothing that you're trying to do. Can you dig it? So, YouTube ain't messing nothing with Facebook trying to do, and Facebook ain't messing nothing YouTube trying to do. So dig this. I tried it. I tried it out for a hot second. Now, this is 2018, and YouTube at the time, man, had all kinds of, twists and twabbles, to get into this summer bitch, to try to get YouTube on, to get us on YouTube so we can live stream. Took a whole lot of consecutive. As a matter of fact, I'm coming through the darkroom, my darkroom page, because although I had set up the NIGHTUS page, I never published it, and then it takes 24 hours for it to be ready to live stream. I guess they're doing that to make sure that you're not some sort of bot or whatever. But we are going to get through this thing as best we can. Tonight there's gonna be some craziness. So far, we got Noel King has shown up from the flotilla. I ain't seen nobody else come in and holler. If you're there, come in and holler. All of the protections are off, so read the thing very carefully. I'll read it for you. But welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community standards. Now, in NIGHTUS standards, don't talk about nobody's mom unless you know them or their mother. You can know their mother independently and not them, but you can't talk about their mom if you don't know them anybody else. Raven Choi is here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing. Other than that, let's just move along as best we can. Moderators and stuff will be set up and whatnot, and do it the best we can. And we got Moody coming in. It's going to be pretty much the same thing that we always talk. We had a lot to talk about this evening. I'm not going to hit everything. You guys have hit me up some remarkable articles, some great memes, some dope discussions. This whole thing with Sherry Shepard, Kim Whitley, and our friend of the show, NIGHTUS's Andre Lavelle, is pretty damn funny. He made a response. So first, Sherry Shepherd, just to lay on what happened a little bit, Sherry Shepherd talked about comedy etiquette, saying that Kim was basically a bull in a china shop. Kim was supposed to close, supposedly. She went up first and did time, saying that she, whatever happened. Sherry didn't do it in a mean way. Kim called her in her Elanya kind of way, saying that she went up there and she did a thing and she said she was angry, and there's a lot of stuff that goes backstage, happens all the time when you're doing stand-up. Might be a fist fight break out, never know. Doesn't matter, man or woman. Might be a fist fight before you even get on stage. So they kind of go through their thing. They go through their deal. A little back and forth, and then Sherry's whole thing was she had to find calm and resourcefulness, and she had to find peace in herself so she could bring and give to the audience. The audience gave back, and she was able to have a good set. Then Kim Whitley came on afterwards. Kim Whitley did a response. So Sherry put this up on Instagram. Kim Whitley came back with her own response. It was like, yo, it wasn't just how you said it. I didn't, she said she borrowed a joke. She didn't borrow a joke. I borrowed a word, and I went on my own way. Yes, I went up, and I did my time. But, you talking about like this foolishness, like this is something like a beef. It's not a beef, but if you want it to be, that's kind of her attitude. But they both blamed Andre for instigating the whole goddamn thing, because when Sherry did her joke, Andre opened for both of them, and he was sitting next to Sherry, and he turned to Sherry and he told Sherry, Kim Whitley did your joke, and then Kim Whitley said that Andre also started instigating when she came off stage. She was like, you did her joke, and then all this other stuff. So Andre responded to both of them with a kind of weird video, seeing that he knew both of them. So it's kind of an interesting thing. You know what? Okay, some people can't sign in. So people are watching. I see this. I see the netizens are coming through. They're doing their thing. Just don't worry about it. Once you subscribe, everybody subscribe. But I don't really want you to subscribe here. I'm going to set up my own page for NIGHTUS. So just chill and, don't even trip. Chill and watch the show where you at. If you can't, we have a lot to talk about because we got Moody coming on in a hot flash. We got a whole bunch of things to talk about, so I'm running at the mouth anyway. Anyway, so let me finish up. So Andre, who knows them both, who actually was on Kim Whitley's show and actually, worked with Sherry Shepherd many times, and he was opening for him. He basically said that they got some problems. They a little backed up. I'm not going to do his bit for you, but he did this whole thing. It looked kind of wild. It was kind of a trip. So I wanted to get Andre on, but I think I see what's going on. They're parlaying. They're parlaying a little bit of what could have been a comedic catastrophe. It turned out to be very well, actually. They're all pros, so they can do their thing. But what started out to be some Jim Dickery, not Dickery, Diggory, could have turned into to be a beef amongst friends that they seem to they're working it out in public, which is dope. And also, the young ladies are going to they're on their own podcast. And so they're talking about their podcast. So it wouldn't be fair for me to try to bring Andre up right now. But trust, you coming on. We're going to get you. You're going to come on the show, and we're going to talk about this. Now, we're going to break it down. Can we break it down? We're going to break it down. All right. Other than that, Rod Emil's here. Random Rod's here, ladies and gentlemen. Great writer. He has Random Rod on Instagram, where he drops his little tidbits and 2 bits and 5 bits and 4 bits doing his thing. We are live from YouTube tonight. We're not doing Facebook. Now, I think I've done close to 600 shows, maybe a little less, on Facebook. And what happened today, now we've all talked about this. When I've talked about it, and you guys have all confirmed in your own way for your own little things that have gone on, that Facebook was becoming relentlessly like there were chinks in the armor, in the streaming armor of Facebook, man. Shit kept happening. I'd have dropouts, and then shit would stall, and then and then they would change. They just changed up the dashboard, diggit, and broke it apart right in the middle of the week one time. So I was just starting the show on a Wednesday, and I remember I told you guys the dashboard was all over the place, and I couldn't pop out the damn chat, and shit was all crazy. And I think to myself, That's kind of fucked up. Then they add this other thing to add graphics to it, but they don't really want you to use like the third party thing. Now, YouTube doesn't really trip off of that because you're using YouTube. They want eyes on YouTube. They ain't tripping. But Facebook apparently has its own thing going on. So I also was starting to think about the security. Now, here's the thing that's very real about what happened today. So they're saying that there was some code that was sent deep within the recesses of coding that gave an instruction that basically told the entire network, what Facebook runs off of, is that we have no more servers. Apparently, this is something that I read. So I cannot say that Facebook made this statement straight out. What then happened was Facebook basically shut the shit back. And that's what looked like it was Facebook put itself in jail. Now, we were laughing about it, and it's well-deserved, and everybody's got these memes going on about Zuckerberg and whatnot. But here's the thing that we need to understand. This is very important, I think. This is the most important thing to understand about this, is that we are on the internet. We go to Instagram, we go to Twitter, we go to Facebook ain't working, we go see what's happening, we go hit our friends up, and so, any other platform that we can think of, if not email. We might Zoom call them. We might do all kinds of stuff with them. And these things, it will just move to the other tree until, Facebook gets back on its feet. For some people, in some nations across the world, Facebook is the internet. Now, just think about it. Think about when you go on Facebook. For you, you see some things. You click on some news. There's a column there that has some of the videos you may have seen, and the algorithm may play to you. You have some friends that you need to talk back to, get back some messaging you get back with. You got some other notifications, stuff you put up, you have to, tidy up or whatever. All these things are going on, and for you, it's just a place to visit, and maybe you do a little business. I saw a bunch of those people talking about, like, I have a bakery, so I have to tell my people about, today's, whatever we cooked and what's on special today, stuff like that. But for other people, when they come on, that is the internet. Think about what you do on the internet, and then think about Facebook. And it is a small version of this larger, I say small version only in the sense of the infrastructure, of this larger system. It is possible, if Facebook were its own nation, I think it'd be like the third largest nation in the world or something like that. So there's a lot of people around the world in countries, now I didn't even think about this until I read it, in countries that that let Facebook in, and they let them kick it with them, and they let them do all their Facebooky stuff under conditions. Can you dig that? They let them do some stuff, and they're under controlled conditions. And for those people in those countries, and some of them have dictators and whatnot, what we're looking at is a situation where when this shit went out, right, you don't know what could have happened. We don't know what has happened. And there might be some people that are in a worse situation than they were a day before Facebook went out. So we can joke about it. We can do our little jokes and talk our little shit, but at the same time, there's some real stuff to think about. Raven Choi says WhatsApp is across the world more than Facebook. This is true, but Facebook has a bigger, I'm not saying it does a bigger use, but it has a bigger world, if you know what I'm saying. It has a bigger connection with the videos and the way it hooks up with Instagram, because both Facebook and Instagram, one the same. Instagram was down as well. So it's a different, walk. And so I started thinking that's, while we're sitting here pointing our fingers, and then, to be honest, we have to tell the truth about what's happening here. For the last 2 years now, people have been dependent upon connecting with each other through Facebook. It's easier, especially for a lot of elder people, not much older than me, connecting. They're not all hooked up on the Zoomy Zoom, the Doom Doom. That's what they say. Zoom, or the Skype, or the whatever. Do people still Skype? Oh no, we'll ask John Moody. I'll bring up the one and only John Moody in a hot second, so we can talk about Moody's Monday and see what the hell's going on. Right now, it is raining and it's 80 degrees. We have arrived – 80 degrees. 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 80 degrees in the hot South, ladies and gentlemen. We were riding. That's Brandon Bowlin for the Under. I'll be right back with John Moody and Moody's Monday. Can you dig it? All right. Ladies and gentlemen ladies and gentlemen of all ages, our very own big-headed, when I say big-headed, I'm talking about big-brained, Jonathan Swift Moody, doing his thing all the way from Buffalo, New York. How you doing, brother?
Yo, I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I'm still kicking, just not as high. So what do you got for us this evening? I'm going to have to rush you off because there's a lot talking about. So I'm getting right to we're not going to do the banter. You know, we usually get into our little banter. We're not going to do the banter.
Oh, but then, hello and good night. Goodbye. Shit.
Wait a minute. At least you don't have the snifter.
No. It's too much going on. First of all, we're here on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Is that why you sabotaged Facebook this morning? So, because you were done with them and you're like, yeah, was that your fuck you?
On the way out? On the way out?
Your way out was to shut them down for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my hand in the air at the end of the Breakfast Club.
You know, and I mean, you know, you wear black a lot. You do look like a warlock. You dress like a warlock. And there's all this wind and lightning tonight. Just saying.
A motherfucking warlock.
That's
you pulled that one. I'm a wizard, but warlock. That's
no warlock, man.
Man, that's
Wizards are old, and you know that's really fantastical. But a warlock, you know, is something like that. You're practicing, man.
That is a 16-point word. Just for getting that out your mouth. What is this?
I'm just saying, man. You know, I'm just saying, man. You know, all this wind and rain and lightning and shit.
But it didn't. First of all, you drive a company car, so it didn't fuck with you at all. Secondly, on Facebook, you're not tripping because you're working. You're one of the few people of the flotilla that works steadily, consistently.
Yeah, and that gives me a lot of fuck yous. Remember last time I brought my company car and y'all got mad because I don't buy gas.
Well, you came up and talking shit. Well, I don't pay for gas because I got a company car. And this is why people...
By the way, women now think that's a reason that I shouldn't try to ask to go Dutch because I don't have to pay for gas.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? You know, come on.
Go Dutch.
You got a company car. No, you can't pay. They don't even let me.
Are you seriously going out with women that actually use the phrase go Dutch?
No, dude, it's a goddamn joke. I mean, I don't go Dutch. I mean, I pay for dates, man. Come on, you know me,
you pay for dates.
I pay.
Hold on, no, sound like friend. A personal problem to me.
That's I pays
for dates. Okay.
Yeah, I pays, man.
Well, there's a lot of men that do, so you're in good company.
Not much they do, but well, first of all, I ain't been on the date since this year now.
Woo! COVID, man. COVID. So what you got for us this evening, man?
Well, we got a top 10, but first I got to bring you the Black Race Can't Afford You No More Award. We have another winner.
Okay.
The recipient of tonight's Black Race Can't Afford You No More.
All right.
And you know, now listen, you know, we got the crew. Folks send you stuff on Instagram or whatever.
Right.
And a couple days ago, I was alerted again of the presence of one Miss Sage Steele.
Yes, I saw that.
And for those of you who don't know what the Black Race Can't Afford You Award No More is a line from a soldier's play or a soldier's story, as you may have seen.
Right.
Okay. But it was a play. I did the play. I was in the play.
You was in the play? Which version?
Yeah, I did the play at the Coleman and Smith Artistic Company.
Okay. All right. Who were you? Who'd you play?
I played two roles. I played not Wilkie, PFC Peterson, which in the movie was the role that Robert
Townsend played, right, in the Jeep.
Big,
Sure, I'd like to have you. Woo, it's good seeing some, what do you say,
right.
An officer, right? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but what had happened was that in rehearsal, man, I just like started memorizing everybody's lines. It was something I was able to do. So I would just fill in for people. This is LA, motherfuckers late or drop out or whatever.
Right.
So I ended up getting bumped up to different roles, man. So because they would have 2 casts, you got to have understudies and shit. And so then I also ended up playing the role. I forget the name or who played it, but he was the one who ended up killing Sarge at the end.
That was Denzel's role. That was the role that made Denzel. That was.
Yeah. Well, guess what? The play didn't make my ass. You know what it made me? It made me do more plays. Oh, he did this. So I did a lot of 99-seat theaters.
That's right.
I was a star of the 99-seat theater.
Look here, man. Ain't nothing but a gym. Did you ever say Geechee? Geechee. Yo, Geechee.
Yeah, Geechee. But anyway, that was the line. Black race can't afford you no more.
Black race can't afford you no more. That's the way you say it.
Adolph Caesar. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so why did she get it?
Because, dude, we know what she said about Obama, but more importantly, man, it came out. I don't know if y'all read this, but apparently, Larry Elder and Candace Owens kind of dropped the dime on her. Apparently, when they go and visit Clarence Thomas, and he makes them use the back door and a separate restroom for his wife, she don't mind. She thinks that's what they supposed to do because they black, man. She don't mind using the back door. She don't mind, having a different bathroom, man. She deserves it, man. She deserves the goddamn award, man.
So what she said? What did she say?
Well, what she said was that what was it? She had some beef because Obama shouldn't call himself black.
No, when she was talking about
and not being able to hold on. It's coming back to me now.
Okay.
Not being able to check both black and white on the census, and they told her that Obama checks black, and she goes, "Well, that's surprising. Why? I don't know why. Because his father was nowhere around."
Right.
As if that so your race is based on who raises you with, man, come on, dude. We ain't got time.
Right. So her vibe was, I can check white because I'm mixed, and Obama he checks black based on his father and she said this, who was never around, which isn't true, by the way.
That's not right.
And the separation was mutual, and he was doing his thing, and his mother was dragging him all over the world, which gave him a hell of an education and prepped him for being president. But this woman took a single situation, and
but Sage Steele, and we've been hearing these types of anecdotes from Sage for quite some time.
Right.
So yeah, man. So yeah, we can't afford her no more, man.
Okay, we get. You need some coupons or something we can get for her.
Hey, we can't afford her no more, man. Nah, not in this day and age. Bro.
All right. Okay, dig it. So what we got with the Moody's top 10, man?
Top 10. So actually did a poll amongst the Nightusans. Apparently quite a few have gone to church.
What?
Yes, quite a few Nightusans go to church.
Okay.
And tonight, while they were there, I spoke to them, and these are the top 10 overheard excuses for not putting money in a collection plate. Top 10 excuses for not putting over that they ever heard. That they heard other people say.
Other people.
Say it. Not they said, this is what they heard from other people.
Okay, dig that.
For not putting money in the collection plate. Number 10, I used all of my ones at the strip club last night. Number 9, put money in. What? We were supposed to take what we needed out that motherfucker. Number 8, pastor and first lady can take it out of what he owes me for child support.
Okay.
You know what goes on in these churches. Number 7, look, I donated a $2 quick pick. Whatever the church wins is God's will. I've done my part.
Good luck.
Number 6, hey, all I got on me is Bitcoin. Sorry.
Bitcoin.
Okay. All I got on me is Bitcoin. That's all I'm carrying is Bitcoin. Can't put that in place.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Thank you so much. Number 5, well, the church should be making enough from the weed dispensary they opened up in the basement last month. Hey, man, churches got to make their money, brother. Number 4, God damn, this is the 4th time this year the deacons have collected bail for the pastor. Bail money. I skipped bail money, but you get the gist, okay?
That's right.
Number three. You know what? They're going to have to stop being so damn stingy and fill my glass up during communion if they want my money.
Right. I want more wine or grape juice.
More wine. Number two, this church is the Spirit Airline of churches. I thought time.
Spirit Airline of churches.
It is a Spirit Airline. Let me continue. I thought tithes were included with the cover charge and the Bible rental.
Bible rental?
Yeah, man, you get a little Bible, you gotta rent the pews, you gotta,
you gotta rent the ones that's sitting there.
You gotta rent them joints in a little, yes.
Put a coin in, it unlocks.
Wait, did you say coins?
Put a coin in there and it unlocks.
No, not coins, no, brother. No, bills. You gotta put
credit card,
at least a $5. Credit card or a $5 bill at least.
No debit, no debit.
Nah, man, we just need that right away. And the number one, overheard excuse for not putting money in the collection plate.
Right.
All I have are these ones that I earned at the strip club last night.
Wow. Hey, Mike. She gonna yell across the pew. All I have is these ones. Hey, Mike.
Are you getting Lavelle on tonight? When's that gonna happen, man?
Lavelle is going to come in his own time. I think they're working this thing out to kind of milk it.
They definitely promoted. Now, by the way, I was highly offended when I first saw it because I thought that.
Let's keep it going in case somebody doesn't know. You're talking about the controversy in comedy with Kim Whitley.
Oh, you can't say it like that. The what? The what?
The controversy in comedy.
Try it one more time. The what?
No, I laid that out. I laid that out like that. Not controversy. I don't want to do it like that.
You did that already?
No, I didn't. You brought that out, and you brought the Rogers Nelson, Nelson. I had the Prince, but you brought the Rogers Nelson, right? So anyway, I didn't want to step on her toes because I saw what they were doing, and then Dre put up this. I mean, did you see the video that Dre put up?
I saw part of it this morning, but I was on my way out to work, which I only work 4 hours a day, and
you did a lot of work on that top 10. We'll just call that all together.
They paid me an entire 8 hours. So I don't know how much longer they're gonna be paying me 8 hours to work 1 hour.
Probably not much now that you didn't put this out on YouTube because the whole world can watch.
Hey, anyway, so the candy store, I'm gonna open up tomorrow, and I might work at the candy store for an hour.
So when I first saw it, I was like, ooh, that's a little, because Andre works with them. So I was like, okay, where's he going with this? And I actually asked him.
I saw the whole tub thing. He was in the tub. But again, I got to go back and watch it. I didn't see the entire thing.
Yeah, go back and watch it because it's an interesting thing. But I'm definitely gonna query him on that when he comes on and does his thing. Man, how are the Bills doing this year?
The Bills are now 3-1, but listen, dude, I've been from Buffalo for a long time. I know that makes no goddamn sense at all, but I've been from there for a long time. I know this football team; they always start out doing well. We're gonna see. You know what? The litmus test, as they say in professional football, the litmus test will be when they play the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Chiefs of Kansas City next week. And that will be a good. We'll see. That'll be a good barometer. We'll see where they are.
Yeah, that kid that hold that ball doesn't play, does he? Let me go to some of the people talking about it. People talking about they coming in, they see it. Randall Ron said.
How do you make comments? I couldn't get that whole contraption to work.
Well, it have to. You gotta sign in and do all this stuff. Don't worry about it. It'll come.
It's a subscription fee. You have to pay a subscription fee to be part of NIGHTUS now, don't you?
No, you don't. No, not yet. No. But you're gonna have to subscribe to the NIGHTUS page in order to make the comments. That's important because it'll keep, the bots out. But anyway, Random Rod says you want some YouTube-ish tonight. Sharon Blend is here. Raven Choice says WhatsApp across the world is more than Facebook. Kasa Aha, who is we know who he is. He's here. Raven Choi says the E-apocalypse was real. She called it the E-apocalypse. Really good wording. Well done. Livia E. She says she's here. Brandon Rod says Moody's Monday. Swings it out for you. Noel King says, yeah, Monday. They're happy about Moody's Monday, right? And Impu says Warlock, and he's laughing out loud. Raven Choi says, I work every day for myself. That's right.
That's nice. Thank you. Well, I work and slave and pay freaking taxes. Anyway.
Sharon Blend says, and Obama's mom died of ovarian cancer. Just extending her awareness. You're right. Because she's an ambassador for a fight against ovarian cancer. Right. Raven Choi says Moody was so butthurt. I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe
you do know what she's talking about.
No, I do not. I do not know.
Well, we're going to inform you the Sherry Shepherd dealio. I went off. I sent her a whole thing. She's probably still reading that shit.
Why?
It was so damn long.
Why? Why did you? Why were you?
Bothered. Well, you know, number one, I'm biased. I was in a sketch group called the Coosters with Kim Whitley. By the way, Topper Carew put that whole group together. It was myself, Buddy Lewis, Kim Whitley, and quite a few others. We were that close to an HBO deal, one of my greatest misses. But anyway, you just know how it is, man. It's like, yo, should she be on here talking about? I didn't really see it like they're gonna be doing this whole back and forth thing. Great promotion for the podcast. And I'm like, man, she's throwing everybody under the bus so that she can look good. But I get it. It's ha-ha. It's a joke. They're all friends. But I didn't take it that way.
Oh, really? You thought it was serious?
I bought into it, man. I'm kind of simple-minded at times, friend.
At times?
Maybe you haven't noticed
you
that.
can only count up to 10 items. Of course you are.
Simple-minded, okay? Someone said I don't like people who smile all the time because they're either they want something or they're simple.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah, don't grin all the time.
Well, that makes sense if you come from Buffalo. That makes absolute. There at least 3 months where y'all don't smile, don't do shit, but scowl.
Let me tell you something. You don't know a goddamn thing about Buffalo. Where's that from? I don't.
Is that Rick James? I don't know.
Yo, do the right thing. You don't know a goddamn thing about Africa.
What you said, Buffalo. So it was Africa. Buffalo. You're right.
You gotta say it. Come on, man.
You're right. What you got going on, man? What you got coming up?
I'm gonna have to put the show, the comedy show, on a hiatus. I'll probably post something like that about that on Facebook tomorrow or whenever it starts to work again. We did the show on Thursday.
This is a show you call?
This is Mr. Moody's Neighborhood.
Right, digging.
Max Bird came in and killed it.
Okay.
Came on, and we saw Jeff Keller, who was actually on NIGHTUS. He was the headliner.
Okay.
He headlined the show. But the format is cool, man. People enjoy the videos, which is great because, I mean, while people in my circle have seen it, everybody, people who come out to the shows haven't seen these. So that works.
Right.
I might have to find another venue, I lost my Thursday nights because I canceled for COVID reasons once. And then I guess they're like, well, we need somebody who can be here all the time, which I understand. I get it. They want to move to a different night.
They need somebody who can get people sick. We need somebody who can spread this shit every week. That's not trying to do it with a nice audience and nice spacing, social distancing. We need somebody to crowd this motherfucker so we can walk out with cases.
Hey man, it's a bigness, all right? It's a bigness, and I ain't too far gone to see that.
I dig that.
So, I get it. So they wanted me to move to another night,
right? And
it just didn't work out for anybody else. I want to keep the DJ. I want to keep Velo because I just don't want to I don't want to do just a regular comedy show. It's just comics. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I like having the videos. I like having the music. I like that whole aspect of it being more variety-like. So we may have to find a different venue or a different night. And we need to shoot some more stuff anyway. So we probably will be down for another month. And we're running into the holidays. And I don't want y'all coming out to my show spending money. Y'all need to buy me a Christmas present. So start saving your pennies for that. And we'll be back a little later.
Well done. We get some galoshes out here for Southern California. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan
I've
D.
been on way too long. Later, brother.
Take care, man. First run on YouTube. Dig it. Moody's Monday. Every Monday, Moody. Y'all take care. Be right back.
Galoshes.
Bam. Very own Jonathan Moody. Everybody here, I hope you guys are comfortable. We're going to work out how, how the subscriptions and stuff come in. Subscribe to the page. That's all it is. It's just bringing. But I want you to subscribe to the NIGHTUS page so we don't have to keep doing the changeover from this. The NIGHTUS page is going to be part of the dark room environment, but it is its own page, and that way you get the subscriptions. And just let me know how this goes tonight. How you feel about typing in, chiming in. Is it the same thing? Is it not the same thing? I can tell you right now that it's much more comfortable to look at this and see what's going on. It's also kind of in a way, it's a bit simple, but I'm looking for, how do you guys feel? How do you take it? I know YouTube is compressing the hell out of the video, so it may look kind of muddy on your TVs or however you're watching it. Some of you guys watch live on television. Other guys, the people watch later on. So later on is going to be probably a bit less compressed, but I don't even think this is going in HD, which I really am upset about. But I think we might be able to work that out if I can move it to something else other. Let's go into this right now. Bam. So let me put this up here correctly. Stop that. And whoops. And we'll go here so you guys can see it. So today, October 4th, we had 853 cases, 7 new deaths, may they rest, and 790 current hospitalizations. Now this is important. I say that it's usually Wednesday or Thursday that lets us know what happened last week. These are great numbers in consideration with what we've been doing. We've been dealing with 30 deaths a day. It went down about 2 weeks ago to 5 deaths, and then it kicked back up to 24, 29, 30. And so now we're looking at, and this is Delta going through LA County. For those of you who are just watching, you know where we are. This is where it was on the 3rd. So we're looking at 10 new deaths on the 3rd, 825 current. So it looks like the hospitalizations are down. And we know this is that once the hospitalizations go down, that helps because once it gets packed, then the bodies get stacked. And once they start to flow, then the bodies, they go. So we have kind of a good, now the cases aren't necessarily the same thing. Just because someone has a case doesn't mean they go to the hospital. Sometimes get a case and they're definitely going to count the case, but they'll tell you to go home once they make sure. And then some people get cases after they test. I just went for my monthly testing. I'm good, I'm clean. But if I would have tested positive, they would count that, so I would have been one of the 1,000. Now, this was on the 3rd. If we go to the 2nd, you can see, once again, the hospitalizations are down. We had 20 deaths, so that's more than double. It's almost 3 times of where we are today. And we had 1,400 new cases. And if you go back a little further, this is the 1st, remember that. And we go back a little further. And this is what was happening, is that we'd see that it go down. I'm going to find that page where it went down so we can, there's 31. It was down to like 5. There it is right there. So this was on the 27th, this was a really good day. I mean, as far as us fighting this thing. And then it popped back up. You saw the numbers that popped back up. And so today, it looks like a good day. The numbers are down in the hospitalizations. The numbers are a little bit down. They're down in the cases. And it looks like we may have crested or reached or beyond the crest of the Delta variant of COVID in Southern California. But we're going into the winter. And that's one of the problems, is that, because we'll see on Wednesday. My thing is our habits haven't changed. We're still going to these games. We're still packing out all this stuff. But, as we like to talk about and like to say all the time, the blue states seem to be doing their thing. It's the red states that we're having problems with. I want to show you this thing. This was put up by, let's see here, Acosta. And this is, he's right. Now, they put out a map about, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago when Delta was really raging. They put a map out to show us exactly where it was raging from, where it was going, how it was, and it's mostly in red states, mostly, not just red states, mostly in Republican areas, Southern California was a little different as we had a large population of hesitant people who were trying to vax. They were hesitant about getting vaxxed. That's funny because the interesting thing is it was black and Latino, mostly black. It seems to have flipped. I saw a report. This was last Wednesday. That basically, no, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I heard it. I heard it on local radio station, KPFK, that more blacks now, more brothers in Southern California are getting vaxxed. So it used to be that we were the largest population that was unvaccinated out here. We now are the second. We're no longer the largest. Everybody's getting vaxxed, so the numbers are all leveling out. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to have people that are going to get sick. That's still going to happen. But hopefully it will turn the fatalities. But dig this. This is
take a look.
This is a piece. This is from CNN. Boom. And this is Acosta. Now dig this.
Take a look at this map from the front page of the New York Times. This is where the last 100,000 Americans to die of COVID took their last breaths. Overwhelmingly in the South, overwhelmingly in red states, overwhelmingly in places where Fox News occupies a lot of screen time. 2 weeks ago, I showed you this video of the growing COVID memorial on the National Mall, where each American killed by the virus is represented by a white flag. On September 18th, there were 670,000 flags. Last night, we crossed another painful threshold, 700,000 Americans dead. Among those dead Americans are people who were fed lies by online misinformation, by the former president, who was dismissive of science, of course, and got his shot in hiding. And they were lied to each night by this guy.
If vaccines work, why are vaccines?
Take a look at this map from the front page of the New York Times.
So, really what I want to show you, I showed you the map that actually when they brought it out, but just look at this. Now, it's not good enough just to say Trumpers, though, or that they're Fox viewers. One of the biggest problems is that, as I showed you before, and I'm going to bring it back up, is Mississippi. And Mississippi has the largest black population, or the densest black population in the United States. Largest. Densest is, I think, in New York. But if you look at this, let me bring it back up for you guys right here. I'm going to go to our very world-o-meter instead of wordometer, as Moody tries to call it, wordometer, where he's trying to, if you look, and I said, if you look at death per million in the population, right? The top number is, this is a wordometer, right? Make sure you guys see it right here. This is what I use. And Mississippi leads the nation in 3,255 deaths per million. The reason why that's important is because Mississippi only has 3 million in the entire state. Southern California has 9 million. And New Jersey's numbers may look like they're big, but New Jersey's still dealing with the catastrophe that happened last year. All of New England got huge numbers, while the rest of the nation was like, our mouths were agape about what was going on. They cranked out huge, and then so anything that they get is added on top of that. So that's why they're up there. That's why New York's up there, and Rhode Island, and New Jersey. But Mississippi being topping deaths per million has a lot to do with people not having access. So we have to work especially hard to make it happen, because there's a lot of brothers and sisters down there that just don't have access. And if you think Mississippi is even, with their Republican government, they're the dumb Texas with Tate Reeves saying very silly things like, I think he said something about religion, our faith is stronger than this virus or some bullshit, something that was stupid in the situation that we're in right now. So, all right, let's talk about some other real world. This is from Raw Story. I want to lay this out here. So I talked about earlier, BAM, this oath keeper oversees all operations at Arizona Sheriff's Department. This is a report. Remember I told you that there was a breach in a database, and they got some of the oath keepers, some of their names, some of the people who were trying to join up with the oath keepers after the insurrection. Cops, people in law enforcement were trying to join up after the bullshit. So hackers claim that they obtained membership database of the right-wing paramilitary group, Oath Keepers. And an analysis of the list shows that one alleged member is one of the top officers in the Yuma County Sheriff's Office in Arizona. Now, we always have said, brothers and sisters, have always said, and brothers and sisters of all colors, by the way, there's a political ad I want to show you. I'm going to try to get to this if I can. It's phenomenal because it's based on history, a real history, and it's dope. I'm going to show it to you when I get to it. But this, we always tell you, this is why we know Sandra Bland didn't do herself in. This is why she shouldn't have even been arrested. We know who we're dealing with on these roads by ourselves. This is why we needed a green book back in the day and still need it now because, and you know the old term, you've heard the saying, right? You see, when you see a Klansman, you see guys in hoods. When we see Klansmen, we see a judge, we see a sheriff, we see a fire department chief. Of course, we know what happened now in New York. The New York Fire Department is under all kinds of scrutiny because they began to get mad racist when the protests showed up for George Floyd. That culture, the culture that we're always told is supposed to be about a brotherhood above all. And the black cops and the black firemen know exactly what the fuck's going on. Talk to them. Talk to them about their frustrations. Because the shit got real in New York. They were sending back memes and emails and DMs and laughing about this shit. And one was, I think, they said they would like to turn the fire hoses on the protesters, but animals love to get wet. They love the water, shit like that in 2021. And these men, these black men and women in uniform, have to put their lives in the hands of these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? And that's one of the problems with this. Not Raw story, but one of the problems with this is that this dude is saying he's high up in Arizona's police department. Can you dig it? And he says the data, some of which a whistleblower group, a distributed denial of secrets, made available to journalists includes a file that appears to provide names, addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses of almost 40,000 members. Damn. A search of that list revealed that more than 200 people who identified themselves as active or retired law enforcement officers were signing up. USA Today confirmed 20 of them are still serving from Alabama to California. Another 20 have retired since joining the Oath Keepers. This shit, so I'm going to put this up here. You guys can read the story. I'll lay it out here so you guys can. And bam, you know how we do. Blazow, blah-da-da-da. Let me read what people are saying back and forth. John Moody says, I like the new digs. The green room smells a lot better. I can dig that. John Ray also says, we can't like, laugh, cry, frown, or reply to others' comments. You're going to have to beg Marky Z to take us back. I'm going to try to fix that for you guys. Raven Troy, yeah, not being able to like each other's comments kind of suck. I can dig that. Kimberly Rose here, ladies and gentlemen. I was thinking the same thing. John B. Moody says, yeah, not being able to like each other's comments kind of suck. I'll have to turn that in and see if I can fix that for you guys. Like I said, we on the maiden voyage, everybody. So just, kick your shoes up, kick your heels up, grab your mojito, or whatever it is you're drinking, sip on it, and just, comment as usual. The flotilla will survive. So anyway, check this out. And once again, like I said, go and read that New York Fire Department, that report on the racism after the George Floyd protests. Go read. This is last year. The shit busted out, and it's crazy. It's insane that we watch these shows. We watch these programs. There's a show on called Chicago PD that was kind of it comes out of the same people that put together Law and Order. It came out of Chicago Fire, I think is the name of that other show. So there's police department's fire. Now Chicago PD, if you watch it, they're kind of a special investigation force. They play by the law, but got their own rules. So you got Hank. Hank is he's the head guy. All boots on the ground. Is that what you're telling me? Huh? You telling me? You telling me you can't walk in there? Huh? When you have to look at somebody in the eye, look at me. All right, I want all boots on there. That's how he talks, right? So dig it. Let me tell you about this shit. You get into it. It's a show where the good guys win a great deal of the time, not all the time. It's a show where they show kind of cookie cutter versions of You know, people trying to, you know, the bad guys. Let me tell you why this show is not good for a lot of us. I like this show. They have a cage downstairs. In the downstairs part of the department. It looks like a storage room, or it might be an old, you know, basement or whatever. They have a cage that looks like a kennel, right? But it's, you know, from the floor to the ceilings, where it looks like a holding tank kind of, but it's made out of chain link fence. And that's where they take people in to do things out of the interrogation room. There's no camera down there unless they want one. And they interrogate people, and they abuse them, and they do all these things. They get in their faces. They may hit them, smack them around. Okay. And the people they write, the characters, the people that end up in that cage are usually the worst of the worst. Somebody that's raping, you know, women, children, whatever, doing crazy. Somebody that's buried a girl somewhere, and if they need to find out where the hell he buried her, you know, so to find her alive. Somebody who's a serial killer, or who is set, you know, schools on fire, shit like that. They take the worst of the worst characters and they take them down and put it. Or they might try to intimidate somebody to get the information, somebody to know what's scary. Here's the thing, though. They come out of Chicago. Chicago PD actually had these black sites, these dark sites that nobody knew about except for certain police officers on the force, where they would take black men and women and basically torture them, beat their ass, tell them all kinds of, you know, lies and shit, try to get them to turn over based on, you know, shit that's completely against, it's not against the law for them to lie to you, but it's against the law for them to intimidate you based on lies, and then, you know, threaten you and then torture you. And Chicago PD actually had places like that, which I can't help but think that in watching the show, it has kind of a rehabilitative effect, because this is kind of an anti-hero thing. Like you used to root for Darth Vader. You're kind of rooting for these cats because the people that they're going after are supposed to be worse. But Chicago actually had these sites where I don't know if all the people that were taking there were innocent or not, but it's against the law, and it's against their human rights. Because I say this, and I'll say this again, and I say this all the time. You have rights before you're arrested. You have rights while you're being arrested. And you have rights after you've been arrested. You have rights before you go to prison. You have rights during your trial. And you have rights after you go to prison. All right? Those things don't evaporate because the people going after you wear a badge. And that's very important. And I'm not saying that high drama isn't needed, but it cut me a whole different way when I looked at it, because Chicago actually has they have those places, they have those things that are messed up. So it's kind of a trip. Sharon Blend says, yeah, we can't interact with each other in the same way, but we can also figure it out. Okay, dig that. Probably means a lot more typing, which Moody hates. That's funny as hell. Hank Voight, yeah, Jason Beige, I think that's his name. How do you say his name? Jason Beige. One of the voices on TV, right? The best voices on TV. Dig that. Moving right along here, so you guys get a chance to read that. Now, we about to look at some sake bombs. How much time I got? I'm doing really well, actually. You guys are really rolling with this. We usually have an hour and 30 show, so we're doing all right. So, what's been happening in the nation right now? We've talked about this. Dig this. The Republicans, after not just in 2017, the Republicans passed a tax bill. One of those things, those features of that tax bill, and I don't know if there's been a sunset on this, was to actually charge Californians more, just on the strength of them being in California. I think they either dropped that shit or it may have gone through. Don't know if they've taken that shit away. But they passed this tax bill that immediately added, I think it was like $2 trillion in debt. So their entire 50-year history, as long as I've been alive, more than I've been alive, actually, where the Republicans have been so-called these spendthrifts, you know, not spendthrifts, these thrifty-ass, you know, penny-pinching, you know, watching every dollar, motherfucker. That was their thing. Don't raise the taxes. Keep the tax low. You know, we don't need debt. Fuck debt. We don't need debt. No more debt. Remember they did that? They all, man, for at least the last 25 years, man. It was debt, 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 debt. There was a guy he was in charge of the debt, and they would have these, they put up the debt shit. The Democrats just want to raise your debt. They did that shit damn near overnight with Trump and did not give a fuck. And when they created the kind of debt that McConnell and them created is the kind of shit that's going to touch your grandchildren if we don't get more workers per Social Security person that's on Social Security. So I just want you to pay attention to the second part, because the first part is about what happened today. And well, let me do the second part. I'll do the second part first, because I think that's more important. This is Secretary Jen Psaki talking about McConnell and them and what happened. I think she lays it all out the best way. Watch this. She's talking about the debt now. Dig this. Now watch this. Dig it.
I have a little chart here just to give you a little visual. Almost $8 trillion during the Trump administration, $676 billion during the Biden administration. So what Senator McConnell is refusing to do is to pay the debts of what were rung up under his leadership when he was in the Senate, still continues to be, of course, and when Trump was president. I think I have a little chart here. Just
what she's talking about is the debt ceiling. Now, if you want a quick history on it, Rachel Maddow about 3 weeks ago talked about how it was something that just kind of artificial that they brought up during World War I. And it doesn't matter. Fact of the matter is that they pass it, they go through all the numbers, and it's supposed to pull back people from, going crazy with debt. And right now, the Democrats are trying to get the debt ceiling passed. It's part of governance in this country. Whether you like it or not, it is part of what we do. It is part of what keeps the lights on and keeps the shit going. And if it doesn't pass, then shit gets fucked up really fast. The faith and credit of the United States of America gets hit. It literally gets dinged. I don't know if you guys remember that, but this happened actually during the Obama administration. The Republicans played around with the shit so fucking much that overnight, although the banks loan each other money through the Fed all the time, shit got a little crazy. You dig what I'm saying? And right now they have a bunch of buffoons. I mean, there are people they don't even want to govern. The Republican Party doesn't want to govern at all. They don't. All they want to do is just talk shit. They're literally working on being fascist. And I'm not saying that lightly. I'm not saying that just as an insult. Go look at fascism. Go look at how it began. Go look at the situations. They're literally, because they have fealty to one person. He lost. He created a lie, and they're pushing the lie, and they still have sworn fealty to him, based on him fucking up the country. There's no reason why their candidate, who is going to be their candidate again, should be back in office. And so what the Democrats are trying to do right now today is take care of the shit that needs to be taken care of. This is why they're trying to pass the $3.5 trillion Build Better Back deal. This is why they need to get this shit done and passed, because, as we talked about this before, even with John Moody, talking about the silicon chips in cars that aren't making it in, so there aren't a lot of cars being made. There's an entire backload of shit that's not coming through the pipeline to this country. Right now, there's a problem with dry ice and carbonation. Think about that. Think about that shit. CO2. We're dealing with supply line issues because of COVID and because of the problems that it's created for workforces, not just here, but all over the world. There's supply line problems all over the world. So unless we get people into jobs, into working, into getting this infrastructure, into getting shit going, we can get the economy, at least revved up, we're going to be looking at some shortfalls ourselves. And the Republicans are fucking around. And this is what she's talking about. So this is why I brought up that other stuff from the back, because they raised stuff and saying it. Let's see what people are talking about here. Back. Who rooted for John Moody says, who rooted for Darth Vader? Only a Marlo Stansfield wannabe would root for Sith Lord. I root for Darth Vader. Darth Vader was the baddest motherfucker in the universe. He was ever. Everybody rooted for Darth Vader. Everybody did. Chamberlain says, I don't know who rooted for Darth Vader, but maybe it's more like folks rooting for Tony Soprano. Nah. Darth Vader, when he was Darth Vader, everybody loved. He was bad. And we all knew he was James Earl Jones until they took the helmet off and it wasn't James Earl Jones. And that was traumatic for young black kids. Okay? All right? Okay. All right. B says, watching, I'm lost with this new, is this the new digs? How about the 98% though? Dig that. Sharon Blend says, fiscal conservatism is just another term for wealth hoarding white folks. John B. Moody says, B, watching, identify yourself. Is that Brandon Bowlin? Oh yes, it's me. Sorry, Brandon Bowlin reporting. There you go, Brandon Bowlin. Brandon Bowlin has been the arbinger of doom and gloom and hope. Because he told him, he said, look, either y'all step in line or we gonna go to the our own little line. That's right. It's gonna be the strike line. Okay, that's best I can do. All right. John Moody says, you spelled your last name so wrong. I'm not sure. That's funny as hell. Build back better. Yes, exactly right. Is that what I called it? Raven Troy says, Democrats could just arrest him. That's right. Mr. Moody's spelling of the last names are up for debate. That's funny as hell. John Moody says, I noticed the water shelves at Whole Foods were nearly empty. Are we back to that now? I don't know. I don't go to Whole Foods, man. John, they sell asparagus and water for $15. Asparagus tips, asparagus spears, as they're called, in water for $15. Are you buying that shit? If you are, I can hook you up. Give me 15, I'll give you 6 back. All right, anyway. 98% voted yes to authorize a strike. Well, over 80% voter turnout. Goddamn right. I hope they make that happen. I hope they really can. Let's move along here. I'm going to go to BuzzFeed. This is just a drop. Now, dig this. The mayor, Brandon, I forget his last name, I believe Queen Kita, sent this to me. The mayor of Baltimore has COVID. And so that's kind of heartbreaking because he's a young mayor and, he's not hospitalized. But now they're going to do some track and tracing and to find out who he was with over the weekend. He had tested negative and then he tested positive. Now, I have to say this. I'm an advocate for social distancing. I'm an advocate for testing and I'm an advocate for masks. And I'm an advocate for vaccine. Get goddamn vaxxed. But we need to make sure that the tests we're taking are not false positives. I'm not saying that they're not, but we need to make very sure, because the worst thing that can happen right now is to lose the confidence of all the people that it's taken so long and hard to get the confidence of. That's the worst thing that can happen right now. And so we need to make sure that the tests that we're taking, because I'm only saying this because what happened on The View. The 2 people that were taken away, Anna and the other, and Sunny, I believe her name is, they were taken away because they got positive tests. They got a positive ding on their test, on their COVID test. Later on, they said that they were false positives. And I'm curious as to how many of those we've seen. Okay? So I think that's one of the things I think we need to really work on and make sure that not everybody has, you know what I mean? That's because if it gets out that there's a bunch of false positives out there, that's going to set everything back. We're getting very close. I think people have finally gotten with the insurance companies and their private industry saying you can't come to work, and we're not going to pay for you to stay home if you don't get vaxxed. Between a rock and a hard place, or a carrot and a stick, if you want that metaphor, we're inching a large chunk of the population, to get vaxxed and to move forward. I still believe if we don't change our habits, there's going to be some sort of mutation. But as long as we can try to get people, we've seen this play out now. But we need to make sure that that we don't get a bunch of false positives. Also, it's supposed to hit the market. I'm going to say hit the market. I should be very careful about that. They're looking at trying to get approval for very fast home testing. The same kind of, not instant, it's 15-minute tests of COVID that you get when you go abroad. They have those. They have the quick COVID tests, and I think that would help a lot of us at home. If you didn't know, Daniel Green, he's a comic, and he ended up with COVID, and he didn't know that he had it. he had all the symptoms, and he should have basically gone and taken care of it, but he didn't until he had to go to the hospital. And so if you've never gotten tested, I tell everybody, at least get tested once. So you know the procedures, so you know, at least get tested once. Please, just get tested once. You know, why should I get tested if I don't have any symptoms? You should get tested to go through the process so you know it. So you should have gotten tested last year. I'm not wagging my finger at nobody. But get tested. Now, if you're in a state where you can't get tested, then at least try to find out how you can. So if you end up in the situation, you're not walking around the house, you know, and also get a oximeter, put that on your finger. That is one of the great, I'm telling you, that is one of the great car engine lights that come on. You put that thing on there. If it shows you like at 90% or 89%, and you stay there, and then it starts to drop precipitously, you have a little bit of window to get your ass to the hospital, and you can get the monoclonal monoclonal antibiotics. Yes, you can get those to help you out immediately. If you still got, you're not sick and you're not bent over, but you know something's going on. If you have a window, that can help you. All right. Chamberlain says, if we could just get those numbers for local and national elections, right? Raven Troy says, Moody got money. Chamberlain says, I say, if you test positive and you're confident that you're being safe and careful, do multiple tests. I agree with that. I do. And the rapid test, there it is, rapid test. That's the word. Thank you very much. Are not as accurate as a general and generate more false positives, as far as I understand. Yes, that is true. But if people got them at the home and they don't cost that much, you can buy them now online, but they cost an arm and your mama. Dan is gonna Dan and said Raven Choi. Dig that. This is true. Moving right along where I'm at. Yeah, man. I'm moving good. Now this is what I want to show you. I brought up the brother from Baltimore, the mayor of Baltimore. Brandon is his first name. And he has it. And this happened as well. Emmy Award-winning, I know you can't read everything, so it's Emmy Award-winning Bridgerton, hair and makeup designer Mark Pilcher has died of COVID-19. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to read this to you right quick. This is from BuzzFeed. And like I said, you know, BuzzFeed used to set the world on fire as far as news is concerned. According to a statement, Pilcher, who was based in the UK, tested negative on multiple COVID-19 tests to make the trip across the Atlantic and back again for the ceremony. Not long after his return, he was taken ill, and his condition deteriorated over the weekend. So you guys can read the rest of it. And I brought that one up to kind of have the conversation, which I just did, about why testing is important and why home testing may help as well. And even if there's false positives or whatever, you know, you'll still maybe have a little bit of hesitance as far as moving out and going places and doing things. So let me put this here if you guys read it if you want to check it out. Livia, she says, I have a coworker who child had 3 classmates with COVID. Oh, man. I think people with kids need to get tested weekly. Yeah. That's what we were talking about with on the Zoom chat. If there are kids around, you just have to. You just have to, because you're trying to take care of the kids and whatnot. You're trying to do the best you can. So dig that. Let's move along here. Bam. I don't have any of the music up. Sorry about that. Now, this is a whole different conversation. I don't know if I'm going to bring it up this evening, but I think it's something we should talk about at some point. Boom. This is something we talked about when it first happened. I didn't go deep into it. I'm going to post this up because it is a dense, you should read at least 3 articles on this. Because of what has happened. Can you dig it? Pandora Papers reveals billions hidden by the rich and powerful. Now, we've talked about this, and I remember telling you guys specifically, like, one of the things about Hollywood that made Hollywood Hollywood is that it's a good place to park money. And you come out with a better rate, many people, than they would get at a bank. You put your money into a movie, and you pull it out. You know what I'm saying? You don't wait for the receipts, and then you put your money into a movie, let them make their movie. they use a, whatever, and your taxes, whatever you might get taxes, you might put 100,000 into it. If you got 4 million, you're gonna lose a good chunk of that anyway. So, and then you can write off what you get back. And I shouldn't say a lot of movies. Every movie is its own business, and it's set up that way specifically to maybe handle those type of things. I think what's really important with this, when you read it, remember when I was talking about downtown LA? And I'm like, why the fuck are they building all these places that nobody can afford? They got all these, man, they got skyscrapers down there, right? All these luxury apartments with right across from the, Staples Center and USC and all these places, man, the high rise, not skyscrapers, but the high rise. And who in the fuck, I went down there this weekend, and I got to tell you, I walked past a cafe, a lot of young people, nobody wearing a mask, by the way. And I walked past that cafe, and I'll show you guys. I'll show you Wednesday, because I filmed it. And I don't see a chunk of young brothers and sisters of all colors and persuasions and whatever being able to afford those apartments down there. I mean, we're talking huge amounts of apartments. So I saw an article, and I posted this Friday, saying that, 1 in 7 luxury homes and apartments, homes and luxury apartments are owned by venture capitalists and hedge fund managers, not managers, hedge funds. In other words, that's where they're parking their money. They're parking their money in these, so they're going to sell them. But here's the thing. If ain't nobody left to buy them shit and the stuff starts crashing, they're going to get out of that. There ain't enough people. We have 800 billionaires in this country. Ain't enough people to fill this shit up. Can you dig what I'm saying? And I walk past the shit, and I'm like, what? So I'm saying that to say, the reason why we need to read this is because of this. Hundreds of world leaders, powerful politicians, billionaires, celebrities, religious leaders, and drug dealers have been hiding their investments in mansions, exclusive beachfront property, yachts, and other assets for the past quarter century, according to a review of nearly 12 million files obtained from 14 firms located around the world. The report, released Sunday in the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, involves 600 journalists from 150 media outlets in 117 countries. It's being dubbed the Pandora Papers because of the findings shed light on the previous hidden dealings of the elite and the corrupt, and how they have used offshore accounts to shield assets collectively worth trillions of dollars. The more than 330 current and former politicians identified beneficiaries of secret accounts include Jordan's King Abdullah II, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, Czech Republic Prime Minister Andrej Babis, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, Ecuador's President Guillermo Lasso, really, Lasso, and associates of both Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan and Russian President Vladimir Putin. The billionaires called out in the report include Turkish construction mogul Ermin Elisak, it might be Sak or Elisek, I think it is, and Robert T. Brockman, the former CEO of software maker Reynolds & Reynolds. Many of the accounts were designed to evade taxes and conceal assets for other shady reasons, according to the report. Quote unquote, the new data leak must be a wake-up call, says Sven Giegold, a Green Party lawmaker in the European Parliament. Global tax evasion fuels global inequality. We need to expand and sharpen the countermeasures now. Oxfam International, a British consortium of charities, applauded the Pandora Papers for exposing brazen examples of greed and deprived countries of tax revenue, cash revenue that could be used to finance programs and projects for the greater good. They absolutely don't give a fuck about charities, but bam. Sharon Blinn says, I think at-home testing is just a part of activating new habits and consciousness about our exposure and being more mindful. That's a very, very good statement to say that. I agree with you on that. And that's right there. And speaking of, I'm just tying this together. Don't get mad at me. Speaking of the Pandora Papers and people with big money with ties to shit that's fucking with government and fucking up other shit, this is from Vice. Bam. Joe Manchin makes $500,000 a year from one of the dirtiest coal plants in West Virginia. I'm not even going to read the whole damn thing. I'm going to let you guys read it. Support Vice. I'll put it in the comments. But yeah, dig that. Boom. You know what I'm saying. You know how it works. Bam for everybody. So dig it. Let me lay this out right here. All right. We got a little bit of time as we normally leave on this great day. So what I want to do, this is our maiden voyage for the real NIGHTUS. Tell me what worked. Please go into the group, the chat group. Not here. Tell me what worked. Tell me what didn't work. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. Or you can, actually, you don't have to wait. You can, hit me up. What I want and what I need to know is your experience in watching it. And so I can make the adjustments. I do believe there's a way for you guys to talk back. I have certain measures turned on, just the default stuff, so that somebody just can't come in here and inward everybody to death as it grows. I anticipate this was the move that I was supposed to make last year, as I kept threatening to do. And if it worked for you, if there's a connection there, then we may have to stay here for other reasons, but more so because I think that there's some glitchiness, and Facebook is doing some stuff that I'm just not sure about. So that's what I'm saying. Other than that, we've reached a time. I'm going to leave a little early and let you guys chill as best you can. Chamberlain says, are they named Pandora Papers? Like into Pandora's box? I believe so, yes. Or is another reason? I think it is the Pandora's box thing. And Raven Troyes, I'm studying Pandora's Papers so I can Jeff Bezos my money. Well, after I actually get some. I can hear that. I can hear that. But you created 16 comic books in 5 weekends, blowing the world apart. It's Brandon Bowlin for the Unattractive Body Alive and Well. Like I always said, keep your head up. Otherwise, you're going to run into things. And with that, thank you very much for joining me on the maiden voyage of NIGHTUS, YouTube style. The corny doesn't leave just because the man leaves the cornfield. You understand that, right? Strength to your mind. Peace. Be to your body. You guys take care. Have a great, great week. I'll be back up here around Wednesday.